Bill Cosby has been charged with criminal charges dating back to an alleged sexual assault in January of 2004. Prosecutor at the time refused to file charges against Bill Cosby because he felt that there was insufficient evidence. However, the new prosecutor in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, has decided that there is sufficient evidence and will proceed with a criminal case against Bill Cosby. Now, just to give you some more details on this, the case involves a woman by the name of Andrea Constand, who apparently met Bill Cosby at Temple University when they were both involved with the university. Now, Kevin Steele, who is the prosecutor in this case, is saying that, hey, you know what, maybe at the time there wasn't enough evidence, but I said that if I got elected into this position, which he did, I would make it a priority to look into this case to ensure that there is justice. Now, lucky for him, there was the new evidence of the unsealed records or the unsealed deposition where Bill Cosby had admitted to purchasing Quaaludes with the sole intention of giving it to women that he wanted to have sex with. And so that new information made it possible for this prosecutor to go after him.
So I want to clarify a couple of things here. So now it's the same prosecutor's office, obviously, as Anna just told you, it's different prosecutors. The same one had been in office until he lost. He lost because Steele made it an issue that he didn't prosecute Bill Cosby. So that's what democracy's for. This guy runs and says, there is new evidence. There's already evidence. The evidence came out in July when the documents were unsealed, and we found out, the whole public found out, that in the deposition, Cosby did admit to giving drugs to have sex with women, like to incapacitate them, etc. So in the election campaign, he said, we have the evidence. The statute of limitations is running out. If you elect me, I will go after Bill Cosby. So the situation had already changed before the election, and he said, I'm going to do something about it. He won the election, assumedly partly because of this. So he gets into office. There's a couple of days left before the statute of limitations runs out, which is 12 years on a case like this. So he's like, boom, new evidence. We know that in the civil case, he pretty much came as close as he could to admitting it. So that's a crime. We're going to go after him.
So let's hear from Kevin Steele himself. He's the prosecutor. He had a press conference today, and he talked more specifically about the charges against Cosby.
These charges stem from a sexual assault that took place on an evening in early 2004 at Mr. Cosby's home in Cheltenham Township, Montgomery County. Mr. Cosby is charged with aggravated indecent assault. This is a felony of the first degree. Mr. Cosby's attorney has been notified of the charges, and he is expected to be arraigned later this afternoon. When we have a specific time for that, we'll let you know, and that's going to be at the Magisterial District Judge's office in Elkins Park. The charges today are filed as a result of new information that came to light in July of 2015. Statute of limitations in this type of case is 12 years. After determining that the statute of limitations regarding potential criminal offenses had not yet expired, the investigation was reopened.
This is incredible. And look, there were a number of events. It was almost like a domino effect that led to this very moment. Okay, so the Associated Press was relentless about unsealing those sealed court documents. And the judge finally said, okay, fine, you can look at the court documents because Bill Cosby is a public figure. He can be considered a public servant. So as a result, he doesn't have the same privacy protections as private citizens. And so the Associated Press did that. And that's how Kevin Steele got his hands on that new information. And so that's going to lead to this criminal investigation, this criminal court case, and hopefully there'll be justice. And if he didn't do it, hopefully that'll be shown in a court of law.
I'm not sure I agree with the ruling. We never got into the details on this show about declaring Bill Cosby a public servant. But I'm happy about the results.
Yeah, me too. I know.
Right.
I know.
Now, you shouldn't do court decisions based on being happy about the results. But as it is, finally, perhaps a little bit of justice. So all those people who were saying, oh, no, he never got convicted, never got convicted. Okay, great. Now you're going to have your opportunity. Maybe he'll be shown to be innocent. Now, of course, that's not how criminal cases work. You're either acquitted or found guilty. Acquitted doesn't mean you're innocent. It means they couldn't prove that you were guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
Okay, but at least he'll have his day in court, and everybody will get to see the evidence in public.
And just few more details for you guys. He did show up to his arraignment, and the judge took his passport away from him. He is free on $1 million bail.
Yeah, well, okay. The $1 million bail isn't going to be much of an issue for Bill Cosby.
Right.
But I'm glad they took his passport so he couldn't join Ethan Couch in Puerto Vallarta. Imagine him. He's like, well, what? I thought I'd just meld in like Couch was. And finally, to give you a sense of the severity of the case, first of all, he already settled this out of court, the civil part, not the criminal part. You can't settle criminal charges out of court. And that's where we got the deposition from. And that's where he admitted giving quaaludes to women to have sex with them.
Right.
And she said that in her case, she was frozen, paralyzed, and unable to move as he violated her.
That's right. And Cosby claims that he did not give her quaaludes, that he gave her 1.5 Benadryls. But why
What's
did
the
you?
difference?
He said, I gave her 1.5 Benadryls because I wanted her to relax. She was feeling stressed. I mean,
the whole point is that you were trying to get her incapacitated. Okay, there's a world of difference between, hey, we had a bunch of beers, we were both drunk, and no, I'm giving you something to make sure you can't move while I have my way with you.
yeah, in addition to alcohol.